Welcome to the regular City of Edgewater Council meeting, May 2nd, 2022. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a silent prayer or a moment of silence, wherever you prefer. Thank you. Roll call.
Mayor Thomas,
I am here.
Councilwoman Power,
Here.
Councilwoman Bennington,
Here.
Councilwoman O'Keefe,
Here.
Councilman Powers,
Here.
City Attorney Irby, City Manager Irby, sorry,
Here too.
City Attorney Wolf,
Here.
City Clerk Slotnick present.
Okay, item number 2, approval of minutes, not this time. Item number 3, presentation of proclamations, plaques, certificates or donations. We have a proclamation to the office of the clerk. The office of professional municipal clerk, at time honored as a vital part of local government, exists through the world. Whereas the office of professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of professional municipal clerk provides the professional link between citizens and local governing bodies and agencies and governing at all other levels. And whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be mindful of their neutrality and partiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas professional municipal clerks serves as the information center on functions on local government and community, and whereas professional municipal clerks continually strives to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of Professional Municipal Clerks through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and annual meetings of their state and provincial, county, and international professional work organizations. Whereas the most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Professional Clerk, and now therefore I, Michael L. Thomas, by virtue of authority invested in me, Mayor of the City of Edgewater, do hereby recognize May 1st through May 7th as Professional Municipal Clerks Week. And we have a good one in this, Bonnie.
Thank you, Bonnie. And the assistant. And the assistant city clerk.
Pardon me?
And the assistant. The assistant city.
Oh, yes, and the assistants. Item number 4, citizens' comments. This is your time to come forward with any comment you may have. If the comment is relating to agenda matter that may be made at a later time in the meeting, please hold and state that at that time. Please state your name, your address, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Okay, there will be another 3 minutes. Come on.
Ma'am, please wait until you approach the podium.
My name is April Wager, and I live on Silver Palm Drive. And I'm not sure if this is the time or the place, but I want to see if we could get something on the agenda about the speed and the traffic that we're seeing, an increase of traffic on Silver Palm. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. So, we have now, it's great that we're getting, new business coming in, new development coming in, but the trucks are now using our Silver Palm as the designated driveway. So we have no sidewalks. We have no posted 30-mile-an-hour signs. I've called the non-emergency line several times, but it goes to the sheriff's office. So I don't know if it even gets back to our Edgewater police, but I know there's some undercover that sit out there once in a while. But I wanted to see if we could either do some speed humps, like some of the other Oak Hill's doing speed humps in some of their roads. New Smyrna's doing speed humps in some of their roads. So I know of 2 major streets, Silver Palm now, and then Woodland Avenue. So maybe we could just do some test pilots. Maybe we can put some speed signs out there. Maybe we could have the flashing lights with the speed limit, because now with the dump trucks coming through, the cars, it's getting worse and worse. And I work from home, so in front of my house, I'm in the front bedroom, so I see the cars speeding through every day. And then we have a big manhole, so if somebody has a tractor trailer, the whole house shakes. So thank you. I just want to see if we can bring this up the next time.
The police chief is listening, plus, my son lives on Solar Palm, so
Okay.
I'm very familiar with that, problem, so.
Because it's just getting out of control. And like
Yes,
you said,
ma'am.
we have no sidewalks.
I agree.
It's unsafe for our kids.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Anybody else? There'll be another 3-minute session at the end of the meeting. Item number 5, approval of changes and modifications to the agenda. Is there any?
There is not.
Council reports, Councilwoman Bennington.
I have none at this time. Oh, I do want to apologize to the chief. I'm sorry I missed your banquet, but I was under the weather and couldn't make it. That's it.
Councilwoman O'Keefe. Do you have anything to report?
I attended the Easter extravaganza, and I just wanted to say thank you to all of the city employees who helped put that on. It was a great event, and it was a wonderful turnout, so I just wanted to say thank you for that. So that's all I have, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilman Powers.
Yes, sir. So we had Arbor Day for the first time in Edgewater on Friday. So went to that and helped planted a tree. And I know that was a short minute thing for staff to put together for this year, but I really appreciate being able to do that and being able to give those trees away. And the cool thing about it, how many trees were planted alongside the park there? 7 along Whistle Stop. So that was not only were we giving the trees away, 7 more trees were planted, and then they planted trees at both of the elementary schools throughout the day. So I was grateful for that, and I was grateful for that event. So thank you for that. I attended the police department's banquet then Friday evening. So that was a good thing to kind of see all the accomplishments of the department and then all the work that's being done to achieve that. So that was a really phenomenal event, and I appreciate being able to go to that, Chief. And then I did a ride along with one of our police officers Saturday night, and was out until 2 a.m. So that was a very cool experience. And of course, we know this about our department. But the level of professionalism, the intelligence, the training that they put themselves through is top level. And I am very grateful for every single one of them, for the leadership that we have, city manager supporting them, and that we have a council that supports them as well. So very grateful for that. And that is all, sir.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And Councilwoman Powers. Power.
So I got to attend the police. I've been calling it the policeman's ball. That's in my head. That's how it comes out. And that was the thing that struck me was they had a video of some of the body cam footage, a little montage of that, and it was supposed to be sort of humorous, but also true to life. And the watching them running through the woods at night after somebody that the canine had been after, and it's like it's pretty. I'd be going through my head was oh shit, like, and I think that it's hard to really understand that this is what they're doing. They're running after somebody that they don't know what they got on the other end, and it was a little bit eye opening, I would say. Like, I mean, I know what cops do, but it's different to see it
On the ground.
kind of on the ground and with not first person, but that close. It was good, and I want to say that the camaraderie was second to none.
Yeah.
Like, I was just that was pretty good to see that we've got a team of people that work, and I'm a coach. I don't use that word lightly. That we've got a team that works together.
Yep.
It's impressive, and I appreciate that. And from the top all the way down, it's good. TPO news. The board was offered the interim position extended to Colleen, and she accepted that, and it's a 6-month extension basically, and in 3 months she has to give us some kind of a her vision for the TPO, and it's another thing that came out of going through the whole search thing, having an interim person being basically forged by fire is what I call it, because it was in a little bit of a mess, and they're down 4 personnel, and when you have 8 staff and now you have 4 and they're trying to get things done, she did a really good job and figured out that, hey, I can actually do this, and so it would not have happened unless she was given this, pile of stuff to accomplish. So I'm proud of her and happy that that's the direction we ended up going. So.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I mean, with the search that turned up people that then, filtered off to either stay where they were or couldn't move. And, again, it enabled the search committee to see, hey, we do have somebody that at first she was reluctant and now she realizes she can do the job. And I think it would not have happened if it didn't work the way it did. So,
Very
I'm,
good.
grateful for that and grateful for her leadership in that as well. So that's it.
And we appreciate your service on that committee. It's very important. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, item number 7, consent agenda. Anybody want to pull any item off the consent agenda and discuss it individually?
No, sir.
I would, in that case, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington,
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe,
Yes.
Councilman Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Power.
Yes.
Okay, public hearings, ordinance, and resolutions under number 8, 8A, second read, ordinance number 2022-0-04, Joseph Smith is requesting annexation of .32 plus or minus acres of land located at 153 North Quarry Drive. Please read in record.
Ordinance number 2022-0-04, an ordinance annexing .32 plus or minus acres of certain real property located at 153 North Quarry Drive, parcel ID number 8412050000280, Volusia County, into the city of Edgewater, Florida, subject to the jurisdiction, obligations, benefits, and privileges of the municipality, amending the description of the city of Edgewater corporate limits, providing for filing with the clerk of the circuit court, Volusia County, the Volusia County property appraiser, and the Department of State, providing for conflicting provisions, severability, and applicability, providing for an effective date, recorded, and adoption.
Okay, staff report.
It is a second reading. There is no additional information. Staff stands ready to answer any questions.
I'll open the public hearing. Council comments or questions? Public comments or questions? Close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve ordinance number 2022-0-04.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington,
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe,
Yes.
Councilman Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Power.
Yes.
8B, second reading, ordinance number 2022-0-05. Joseph Smith is requesting amendment to the future land use map, include 3.2 plus or minus acres located at 153 North Quarry Drive as low-density residential. Please read in the record.
Ordinance number 2022-0-05, an ordinance of the city of Edgewater amending the comprehensive plan is amended by amending the official future land use map from Volusia County urban low intensity to city low density residential for .32 plus or minus acres of certain real property located at 153 North Quarry Drive, Edgewater, Florida, providing for public hearings, findings of consistency, providing for conflicting provisions, severability and applicability, and providing an effective date.
Assume there's no staff report since it's a second hearing.
Correct.
I'll open the public hearing. Council comments or questions? Citizens' comments or questions? Close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve ordinance number 2022-0-05.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington,
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe,
Yes.
Councilman Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Power,
Yes.
8C, second reading order number 2022-0-06. Judge Smith requesting amendment to the official zoning map to include .32 plus or minus acres of land located at 153 North Quarry Drive as R3 single-family residential. Please read in the record.
Ordinance number 2022-0-06, an ordinance granting a change in zoning classification from County R3W, Urban Single Family Residential, to City R3 Single Family Residential for .32 plus or minus acres of certain real property located at 153 North Quarry Drive, Edgewater, Florida, amending the official zoning map of the City of Edgewater, providing for conflicting provisions, severability, and applicability, providing for an effective date, recording, and adoption.
Since it's a second reading, I assume there's no staff report. Open the public hearing. Council comments or questions? Comments from the public? Close the public hearing. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve ordinance number 2022-0-06.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington,
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe,
Yes.
Councilman Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Power,
Yes.
8D, first reading orders number 2022-0-11, Fire Services Special Assessment. Please read in the record.
Ordinance number 2022-0-11, ordinance of the City of Edgewater, Volusia County, Florida, providing for the implementation of fire services special assessments, providing definitions for the proposed fire assessment and collection method, providing for legislative determinations of special benefit, general authority, and applicability throughout the city, providing for initial proceedings, directing imposition of initial assessment role, providing notice by publication and mail, providing for adoption and effective final assessment resolution, providing annual adoption procedures, providing liens for and revisions to fire service assessments, providing for procedural irregularities and correction of errors and omissions, providing for interim assessments and alternate method of collection, providing for conflicts, codification, and severability, providing an effective date.
Staff report.
Yes, sir. Council is in the process of reviewing the fire services assessment to be imposed against real property for the purpose of paying for fire protection services. The city has contracted with Government Services Group, or GSG, to review and recommend a methodology and amount of actual assessments. A workshop was held on April 18th, 2022, and the consultants presented detailed information on the assessment program. After review of the details of the program, the council provided consensus to move forward with the process of implementation of a fire services assessment program. The ordinance before you tonight is a first step, and only a first step, towards this goal. There will be two other resolutions required in the future. One will be the initial assessment resolution, and the second would be the adoption of a final assessment resolution. There will be a future workshop. So tonight, the recommended action is a motion to approve ordinance number 2022-0-11 on first reading.
Open the public hearing. Council discussion.
I'm gonna go in order.
The order is Gigi.
I don't have anything to discuss.
Okay.
I think we.
You want to go by that order? Okay. Then the next is Councilwoman O'Keefe. Do you have anything to say on that, Ms. O'Keefe?
No, sir.
Councilman Powers.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so, just, for the record, I don't know what kind of comments, we're gonna have. We haven't opened that part out yet, but reading some feedback and those sort of things, I think it's important to kind of understand that as we're working through this process, this ordinance is simply the framework. This ordinance allows us to keep having the conversation. This is not the guts of the situation, if you will. We haven't discussed numbers at detail yet, or how that's going to look. This is simply just the framework to keep moving forward. That's all this is. This is for us to be able to keep having the conversation. There will be a workshop. There will be another reading on this. So we're going to keep having that conversation. So I just kind of wanted to have that on the record. In addition to that, though, I think when we look at a consistency of funding, right, just kind of circling back to the conversation we had at the workshop, we all received the same email that when we had the recession in 2008, that our taxable value in Edgewater decreased by 47%. And when you look at a fee as opposed to taxable value, this would provide consistency in funding. You know, I don't think we would want our emergency services to decrease in service if we find ourselves in another plummet in home values. However, looking at the other side of this, though, and this is just where I am with it right now, we need to keep talking about it, and there's going to be more information that'll be provided to us. Where I am right now, though, I'm not completely comfortable imposing an assessment and then keeping the millage rate the same way, right? I would like to see somehow that we compensate in reducing the tax rate if we're going to put the fee in place. Meaning, I'm not comfortable leaving the tax rate the same way that it is and then imposing an additional fee on top of residents. So that's just where I am with it. I'd like to compensate in the tax rate and see what we can do. Look at numbers. I'd still like to look at those who qualify for exemptions, veterans, those who are disabled, so on and so forth, how we would work on that as well in this situation. So that's just where I am with it right now. We need to see the numbers. We need to see where we are with things. Again, though, this is simply the framework to keep moving forward. So I yield, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
You done?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Bennington?
She was first.
I
Oh,
already-
you were first?
Yeah, I didn't have any.
Okay.
I have to agree with Jonah, though.
Public
This
comment.
You gonna let me comment or?
Oh,
You're
I
not
knew I
good with
forgot
that.
somebody.
Not
wanted
want me to
get through
speak.
this tonight.
Councilwoman Power. I apologize.
Yeah, no, the thing that I'm not sure that a lot of people totally understand is that in order for us to have the discussion, it has to be on the agenda. We have to do one step at a time. So that's, we can have a conversation in public at either a workshop or at a council meeting. And so that's, why it's good for us to be able to have the conversation and for the public to be able to come up and put in their insight into it so we can get feedback on it. So that's, if we only look at, what comes in on Facebook, that's not a conversation. That's could be even somebody who doesn't even live here coming up with stuff. And that happens a lot. So
Yes.
anyway, so it's good for us to, to be moving forward and to keep the discussion moving is my take on it. That's it. That's my piece.
Now it's your turn.
Public views on it. Any public views on it right now?
Yes,
You
sir.
got to come up here, yes, sir. State your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Kevin Bohr, live on 203 Parkwood right here in Riverside. And I would just be
Talk a little bit louder. Or,
Sorry. I would be opposed to any additional tax assessment or fee, however you want to label it. Just because, living on the water, my property taxes plus my flood insurance are already expensive as it is for, a young family. So, I just would prefer to see an option where we look at how we allocate the funding instead of additional taxes. That's all. That's just my view.
okay.
My neighbor, I've discussed it with my neighbors too, and they kind of tend to agree. So I'm definitely not opposed to, shutting down the discussion or anything. So I
Well,
understand that this is the initial step of that.
I appreciate your comment, and that's one thing we learned at the last workshop was people like you that are paying taxes on Riverside Drive, big taxes, are paying for all this stuff. And there's what percent of the people in Edgewater are not paying any taxes at all and getting the same services?
Have you got that, Bridget? We don't have that available right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's
What was it, 50%, or it was something?
It's high.
Pretty high.
Because
pretty high.
it was really high because there's a lot of houses in Edgewater that don't pay any taxes. So therefore, you're paying for those. That's what we're trying to do up here is make it equitable for everybody. And we have you in mind as a taxpayer, And pretty soon, he's going to need another fire truck, a pumper truck, and those things are running $700,000 now. So, but anyway, I appreciate your comment, so we could bring this out to the public, to what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it equitable for all citizens of Edgewater. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And I do want to say something on that as well, because, and I live on Riverside, so I'm paying a lot
Right.
towards, towards a fire fee, kind of, already. I mean, that's just the way it works right now. But what we're looking at is having a fee and, maybe a small one that would go straight towards, buying the fire truck or whatever, and then taking some off of the millage.
Tax rate, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, you mentioned that, and
right.
that was
So,
the first time I'd heard that. So.
right, so if you understand, that would mean instead of, we've been at 6.7, it would be possibly 6.5.
Yeah, if
right?
it was something that like equalized itself,
Yes.
wouldn't be opposed to that.
Okay, and that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we're looking at doing, I think, is basically.
Yeah, I think as you move forward, it's probably important to communicate that.
Right.
You know,
We tried.
might get
I mean,
more
We tried at the
support,
workshop.
yeah.
but-
Sometimes conversation can get convoluted. I've used it,
Yeah.
We'll be having another workshop
Yeah, I
on
mean,
this too.
To be honest,
Yeah,
I
we-
saw a social media post, so I wanted. This is the first meeting I've come to.
It would benefit the citizens of Edgewater to come to these workshops to
Yeah.
find out what's going on.
Right.
Okay.
So welcome,
thank-
welcome to the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
John Gowden, 2229 Vista Palm Drive. Quick question. These ordinances, can they be found on the website of Edgewater to read the whole description? This gentleman ran through it so quickly, my ears couldn't keep up by any means. So is there someplace that these can be read in?
It's on the agenda.
It
It
is.
is on the agenda. So cityofedgewater.org, and then meetings and minutes or agendas.
Agendas and minutes.
And minutes, yeah.
Okay,
And so you can click on that, and each agenda item will come up, all
And
the
this,
attachments.
this ordinance, I believe, is 20-something.
Right.
It's 23 pages long, so you could read the whole thing.
I'm retired. I have time. Thank you very much.
Night reading, yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
what I did on my weekend.
Anybody else on the fire assessment? If not, I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve ordinance number 2022-0-11.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilman Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Thomas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Power?
Yes.
8E, resolution number 2022 R-08, amending the required number of board members quorum on the Environmental Advisory Board. Please read in the record.
Resolution number 2022-R-08, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Edgewater, Florida, amending Resolution 2020-R-20 by modifying the required number of members and quorum of the Environmental Advisory Board, repealing all resolutions in conflict herewith, and providing for an effective date.
Staff report.
Yes, sir, this actually is taking a bit of a turn. We did originally have the thought process of reducing the number of members to something entirely different. Staff would like to abolish this board completely.
Staff would like to what?
Abolish this board completely. And the reasons why were stated earlier, like when this was first formed. There are several other agencies that provide this service of this board, which include the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, St. John's River Water Management District, the Riverside Conservancy, Volusia County, and others. Staff does not believe this board is necessary. It is very difficult to get them together. Last week's meeting, no one even showed up to. So
That was, go ahead.
that's it.
Okay, that was my next question, was when we went over this to establish this board, that was part of the discussion, was how many agencies we had
Yes,
and what good it was gonna do.
that's
And the
correct.
citizens felt, or the
One.
majority of us, one, yeah, right. You're pretty well correct, but anyway, felt the need for it, but So they didn't even show up at the last meeting?
No show.
And there's
no
7
tell.
of them
There's 7 slots. There's only 4.
that's
left.
filled?
There's only 4 left.
Okay, well, okay, I understand. Because I am an environmentalist and I believe in that, but, if, like I said, I didn't see a need for it to start with. We're.
I've talked,
It's-
If you were going to think about doing that, it should be an agenda item for the next meeting.
Okay.
It should be done by resolution,
Okay,
Right.
if you're.
thank you, Mr.
Consider.
Attorney. Thank you.
I would say, do we need to go, do we need, I wouldn't even make a motion on this, because I don't see the reason to drop it down to 5 if we're gonna look at sunsetting.
we'll bring it back.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I would make I would have the motion say that we abolish it and bring it back for the next meeting. We're not abolish it, but we bring it back at the next meeting to discuss the status of the
It could
board.
just go on the agenda.
Yeah.
We have to, we don't.
Oh,
need a
okay.
motion. Yeah.
We just have to agree.
You okay with that?
Do you?
You have any comments?
Well, so no one showed up at the last meeting.
And no one called.
No one called. How many times have you met quorum?
Don't have that number.
Okay, I just don't know if it's one of those things that not only did not everyone show up at the last meeting, then maybe we've had meetings where quorum hasn't been met also. To be honest, I feel like, I know it's additional work on staff. I really like every possible platform maybe for residents. I really like there to be as many platforms as possible. So, I don't know. But we'll have that conversation next week, so.
Yeah, we can discuss that more, but to have a board with no power, and we have all these, governmental agencies that have the power to do something, I mean, I'm all for the environment, but, what's the need for it?
Well, and then in
And we
theory,
started with 7, and we can't even get.
well, we can't even meet
quorum.
the 5, right?
Right,
So,
so that says to me that the board's really ineffective.
yeah,
Okay.
and then in theory, if they wanted to participate, there's
Miss,
time here.
were you done?
So, yes, thank you. Mhm.
Miss Megan, do you have anything to say about that?
No, sir, I'm okay with it.
Okay,
Discussing it at the next meeting.
public, comments on it? Okay. Close the public hearing, entertain a motion, or, I guess, yes. That's
What do
what,
we need?
We'll bring it back.
A motion to bring it back?
yes.
It just needs to,
I'm looking
I
at
think it just needs to
Aaron.
Sorry.
die.
It can die with no motion.
It just
Yeah.
needs to die.
Right,
And
it'll
it
just
goes-
die with no motion,
Yes.
Okay,
right.
okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's, well.
So it died.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 9, board appointments, none at this time. Item number 10, other business. 10A, SD 2201, Cody Bogart is requested preliminary plat approved for Riverfront Estates. Staff report.
Good evening, council. As mentioned, this is a preliminary plat approval for the Riverfront Estates project, east of South Ridgewood Avenue and south of Jones Fish Camp Road, approximately 28.5 acres. It's currently vacant. Proposed use is single-family residential and townhomes. Your future land use is low-density residential with conservation overlay, and the zoning is RPUD. Property was annexed into the city in 2020. A PUD agreement was approved by City Council on May 4th, 2020. As mentioned, development includes 52 single-family lots with a minimum size of 50 by 115 and 88 townhome units. Development of the subject property is consistent with the approved PUD agreement, and your Planning and Zoning Board approved this at their last hearing.
Open the public hearing. Council comments. That's the one Glenn Storch was representing?
Yes.
And I made him promise me to leave them beautiful oak trees that are down there?
Yes, you did.
Okay,
So it's just north of Terramar Village,
okay.
correct?
And he has done that?
Terramar's a little farther down.
Is it?
And that's the one where the eagle's nest was somewhere in the proximity?
Oh, I'm sorry, that is Terramar right there. Yes, there is,
Okay.
and
So
they're
that-
avoiding that.
And is
And
he
very
still
construction.
there, or he and she still there? The eagle?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And is any construction begun on that?
No.
Okay. But he is going through to leave those beautiful oak trees.
Correct. Cody, do you want to discuss that? They are, have the radius to stay out of that area for the.
Okay, good.
Hello, Council. I'm Cody Bogart from Newkirk Engineering for the design team. We were also the conceptual design team with Mr. Storch during the PUD process. What we did here is along the perimeters, we have bioretention, which are dry ponds where we make an effort to save the natural vegetation at grade around the berm. So large specimen trees that were found in these areas and around our wet ponds will be saved and graded around to preserve the large trees around the area and some native vegetation.
Sorry to interrupt you, but did you observe the large trees? How large they are?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's nice trees everywhere in
Yeah,
Edgewater.
okay.
And
All right, go ahead.
there's always a point to make the live oaks for sure, as well as the others. As far as the eagle goes, it's still there. The permit that we have from FWC is to monitor the migration pattern of the eagle.
Right.
If it were to show up, construction cannot happen within the radius that FWC has
Right,
set
you
up.
can, sometimes you can work right up to the drip line of the tree. Depends on what time of year.
Yes.
I used to work for FWC.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's all I have regarding those two aspects of it. If there's any other question, I'd be happy to clarify.
You want me to go in order? Hold on a minute.
Would be me.
Councilwoman Bennington,
I don't have any questions.
Councilwoman O'Keefe,
Nothing at this time, sir.
Councilman Powers,
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
Just
Well, not tonight.
for for those, I don't know if anyone's here for this item either, for anyone listening to, this PUD has already been approved, right? So we're not here voting yes or no on the development. There's not anything that can be done about that at this point. That's already been approved. At this point, we're discussing the layout essentially, right? So, but in addition to that, there is language in here about the oak trees, but just maybe I'm reading it wrong, but maybe it's kind of like, we'll do what we can, or we will, or, I don't know if there's any type of contract or something or agreement that we could enter into. I don't know if anything like that exists to make sure that some of those environmental aspects are adhered to. Because as far as I'm concerned, the PUD is kind of the final authority, and they can say, well, this is what this says, and I'm going to do what I want. Words in this situation to me don't really mean much. So just putting that out there.
So you're not seeing that in the contract?
Well, I mean, it's in the PUD. It's in there. It's just, I don't know. I don't know how strong the language is. I don't know if Aaron can speak to that or not.
And I don't know it verbatim either, and I'm not an attorney, but it was more towards trees would be taken as the land development code reads. And that's what we did follow for minimum retention and minimum preservation of those trees. I will say, designing the plans of this project, we did go above and beyond in those bioretention areas to preserve trees where in past developers and other engineers would not retain those. And the reason for is, one, they're beautiful, and two, the stormwater treatment is actually more efficient when native vegetation is left to help filter the water before it discharges off-site. So it's two very good benefits that are becoming common practice throughout development.
I have a comment. I would say it actually improves or keeps the value of the property up. When you strip it all and you have to put in,
Right.
small, tiny trees, it takes a while to come back up to.
Right.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Ms. Power?
That's really all I had. I know it's Terramar just to the south, and there's a couple of private homes, but they're all in the county to the south there. And so you guys have made peace with the homes that are there already?
We are providing a 6-foot privacy fence along the southern property line, and the bioretentions are designed to be almost, I think, a 80-foot buffer minimum along the southern property line. So it'll be partially cleared out with the retention of the large trees before you see the townhomes. Alice Street is being paved north and south down from Jones Fish Camp, and we're providing a perimeter swale to maintain drainage through the property, around the property.
And able to get in there to maintain, is that something that you can get in behind there and maintain the fence and whatever, or would that be property owners?
It would be part of the HOA would maintain
Okay.
the fences and the ponds and
Okay.
the other common areas.
So they have to be able to have access to get in there.
Yes,
What was the other thing?
How big are the lots again?
Minimum 50 for the single family, and then the townhomes. Each townhome unit will be its own lot at 22 minimum, and those range from 4 to, I believe, 8 unit buildings.
Are they 2-story or single story?
I believe they'll be 2-story.
2-story.
Yeah, we have Mike is a representative from Lennar Homes who will be doing the construction.
So obviously, though, there's a substantial buffer, which,
Right.
which exceeds requirements, so.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Comments from the public? Questions from the public? I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the plat,
Preliminary plat.
preliminary plat, SD 2201.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington,
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe,
Yes.
Councilman Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Councilwoman Power,
Yes.
Ken B, SP 2201, James Hodges is requesting site plan approval for indoor and outdoor storage on the property located at 4175 South Ridgewood Avenue. Staff report.
Yes, sir. Site plan approval, being over 25,000 square feet, that comes to the Planning, Zoning Board, and City Council for approval. It's located at 4175 South Ridgewood Avenue, approximately 14 and a half acres. It's just south of Boston Whaler. Proposed use is indoor and boat and RV storage. Currently, it is vacant. The future land use is industrial, and the zoning district is I-1 light industrial. Property was annexed into the city January of this year. Applicant proposes to construct a 76,000 square foot air-conditioned building and 2 non-conditioned buildings of 16,500 square feet and 12,250 square feet. Project will also have outdoor boat and RV storage. Your Planning and Zoning Board recommended approval at their last meeting.
Open the public hearing. Council comments?
What was I gonna say? To me, the property to the south is industrial.
I think it's a good fit because
Yeah.
there's, I mean, they ain't gonna be smelling all the chemicals,
Right.
or there's no gonna be, I mean,
I know.
nobody there.
And it's such a narrow piece of property.
It is
Right,
narrow.
right.
That it's,
So I think it's a very good fit for that piece of property.
well,
And,
even,
and to note also, unfortunately, there'll be 3 historic trees that'll
Do
have
what
to be
now?
removed. 3 historic trees that'll have to be removed. 3 historic trees.
Oh, we can't do that.
Obviously, for the record, though, there's mediation for that.
Yes,
Yes. So are they?
they're planting a lot of,
They're replanting then.
yes.
Okay.
Equal it.
they're mitigating for
And
that.
there's a certain diameter
Correct.
that they have to replant at, right?
Yes,
So,
yes, sir.
Okay. So they're compensating for that then.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's interesting. To the west, it says Florida Roadhouse. It's not Florida Roadhouse anymore. Volusia County Industrial. Yeah, that's the thing that I'm the happiest about, is that we won't in the future have, oh, well, there's a storage area, back behind my house. I don't like that, or whatever. So it's.
It fits the surrounding.
It fits the land. and the
Actually,
surrounding.
storage areas are the quietest, the best. You're
I-
gonna have
oh,
a commercial
No,
neighborhood.
I know that.
They're not bad
but
to have.
Yes,
But people will be people.
Mm.
Yes.
yeah.
The
puzzle is coming together.
Depends what goes next.
Right.
Anybody else? Ms. Baker, you got anything to say on that?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Public comment? He wants to talk, Darren.
John Gowden again, Vista Palm Drive. Please explain about the trees again. We kind of got lost at how you, this mitigation and moving the trees?
So,
No,
so,
no.
so you.
We're new here, so.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah, no, thank you for being here. They replant at a certain diameter,
Oh,
new trees.
new trees.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so they're not actually removing and moving an existing tree.
No, but they mitigate for that loss, right? Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tree plan.
That's interesting that somebody new
Yeah, it's a good thing.
John Zeno, 718 Navigators. My question is, we obviously can't replant 3 prehistoric trees once we take them out. I know they're going to mitigate. My real question is this project impossible and not doable without removing the trees? Have there been alternative plans to allow this project to move forward without attempting to move those trees? Pardon? So it obstructs them from doing the project.
Yes.
That's what you're saying? As planned. That's why I asked if there are alternative plans to provide storage facilities without removing the 3 prehistoric trees. I haven't gotten that answer yet.
Is this final?
Not on this track as it's proposed.
So it is impossible for them to provide storage without the removal of those
As
trees,
this is planned right now on this.
as it is currently planned.
Yes. That's why I understand, right, Darren?
So, okay. Let me-
So there is no alternative plan for this project without removing the trees. That's what I'm hearing.
Correct.
Yes.
Do we know where they are? You know, if it's,
With this final site plan, I mean, they're ready to,
no, I mean where the trees are located in conjunction with this layout.
And how many have they been able to save, actually? Like, how many are?
So they are keeping a certain number that are there right. So out of those that they are keeping, 3, right, and then they're mitigating for those. So obviously they're not taking all of them, so, yeah,
So there are multiple prehistoric trees that will remain.
correct. That's what I'm being told, yes.
We just need to be careful as we allow growth not to be in place of natural resources.
We agree.
That's why I ask about alternative plans
Right.
in an attempt to preserve what we currently have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hi, to help this gentleman out, Cindy Black, Umbrella Tree Drive. You know, if you go back to Hacienda, they were told that their, you know, trees were going to be saved. So, you know, I think what would help them because Hacienda, they end up flattening everything. What would help them would be to see a plan with the trees that are going to be saved and the trees that they're going to be removed. I mean, just showing a plan without actually showing what trees are going to be saved, because all they have is this, and, you know, somebody's word that some trees are going to be saved. You're not guaranteeing them. You know, you just have Darian's word. I'm sorry, Darian, but this isn't guaranteeing anything. They were promised with Hacienda. So I would actually, show us. Go out there and put some ribbons around the trees that are going to be saved and which ones are going to be cut down, and then come back in and show the city council, yes, we promise we're saving these historic trees. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Close the public hearing, entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve site plan or SB 2201.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilman Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Thomas?
Yep.
Councilwoman Power?
Yes.
10C, police vehicle purchase, staff report.
The police department is in need of replacing 7 vehicles. As everyone knows, supply chain issues are a real problem, and even ordinary family passenger vehicles are difficult to find on lots for sale, much less outfitted police vehicles. There is a concern if we wait until October to order or replace the vehicles, it may take a year or longer to receive them. The estimated purchase price of these vehicles is $335,000, and Bartow Ford has offered to take 9 used vehicles owned by the city and trade for approximate value of $82,800, which would leave a balance of purchase of approximately $252,000. The vehicles needed are as follows: 1 Interceptor SUV for the K-9, 1 Interceptor SUV for patrol, 2 F-150 police rated trucks for detectives, and 3 Interceptor SUVs for detectives. Currently, the detectives are assigned Ford Fusions, which I find interesting, which are considered much less than what is needed for the detectives, because they're required to respond to emergencies at high rates of speed. The general fund reserves will be used to cover this unbudgeted expense, and said reserves are very healthy. So the recommended action tonight is a motion to approve the budget amendment of the purchase of 7 police vehicles.
Open the public hearing, council comments, questions,
I have a comment.
go ahead.
Well, I did the math, and the net cost is 36 grand per vehicle. That's pretty freaking
Pretty
good.
cheap.
And that's kitted out. I mean, that's with the light bars, the stickers, and whatever. For new vehicles, 2022.
Some will be 2021,
Okay.
and some will be 2022.
But they're not. Are they not used yet?
No, they're gonna be new vehicles, yes, new
Yeah.
vehicles.
So they're brand new and yeah. So for me, that's
Yeah,
pretty
you
much
can't
a
beat
no-brainer.
that.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Can I buy one?
I know. Wait a minute. That's what I said.
No.
No. I know. Resoundingly told no.
Anybody else?
No, sir.
Miss Megan?
Yeah, I just had a comment. That is with them all wired up and with the lights and everything. I heard Christine about that, but I was just curious.
All wired up, yes.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
10-4. Public comments. Close the public hearing, entertain a motion.
I make a motion. We approve the budget amendment and the purchase of the 7 police vehicles.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilman Powers?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Mayor Thomas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Power?
Yes.
10D, acceptance of real property donations from Volusia County. Staff report.
This one's a little odd, so just bear with me. Several months ago, the owner of Lytle Chiropractic, which is located at 103 Connecticut Avenue, advised she had purchased the property and wanted to change the face of the sign, which is located along US 1. Dr. Lytle has long since left, lives in Canada, and has nothing to do with the property. So it still says Lytle Chiropractic. She ran into several roadblocks in her attempt, including finding out the sign is not on the property she acquired. Located just west of the office along US 1 on a narrow strip of land is the location of the sign. This strip of land runs from Connecticut north to Ocean Avenue along US 1 and belongs to Volusia County, or did, and no one seems to know why. However, the county has agreed, and actually they have, deeded the land to the city, which in turn can lawfully be deeded to the owners of the chiropractic office and the owner of 102 Ocean Avenue, which is directly behind Lytle Chiropractic. The land has no real value as nothing can be constructed on it, and there's no real reason to existing for the city to own it. So the recommended action tonight is actually two motions and votes, which is one, a motion to vote to accept the donation of real property by deed from Volusia County. Second is a motion to vote to declare the same property at the same time as surplus and direct the ownership be transferred to the owner of 103 Connecticut Avenue, the chiropractic office, and the owner of 102 Ocean Avenue, which is a citizen of Edgewater.
Open the public hearing. Council comments. Questions.
So my comment would be that, like, look, the county's giving us something.
Yeah, right.
And in turn, we get to give
Are
it
you kidding
back
me?
away again. I know. Look how fun that is. But what the heck? How'd they end up with that piece of property in the middle of?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
That's why they're giving it to us.
I know. Well, they can't do anything with it, right?
So it's running along in front of the chiropractic office and then the house that's on East Ocean, right? That whole frontage there.
Yes.
So are we donating it? Well, okay. I guess, would they separate like a line there? Would it be two separate parcels?
Right.
Then? Yeah, I just want to, there's no confusion in the future, yeah, so.
Those parcels, after it gets split and goes to each owner, does that get absorbed into their current parcel so that it's not a separate parcel that they're trying to pay taxes on?
How does it work? Above my pay grade, sorry.
Yeah, I think it would just be added to their existing parcel.
Okay, I mean, because right now it has its own parcel number.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's gonna have two different parcel numbers because we're splitting it.
Probably want to reserve it and split the unity of title possibly between the two properties.
Because they definitely don't want a separate tax bill for that one, like, little strip of given land, right?
No.
Okay. I've done my job here.
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
All I'm asking for is acceptance of
Right.
the donation
Yep,
and then
got
turn
it.
around and declare it surplus and give
Got
it
it.
to them.
Just thinking.
Okay, well, you need a motion to acceptance of the real property donation from Volusia County.
First
All right, I make that motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilman Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Thomas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Power?
Yes.
Okay, what's the second?
I make a motion to declare the same property that we've just voted on as city surplus and direct ownership be transferred to the owner of 103 Connecticut and 102 Connecticut Avenue.
No. Didn't you say?
No,
motion?
sorry,
101?
102 Ocean.
102 Ocean. I apologize. It's not on the paper. So.
Second.
Yeah, that's new.
Ready for roll call?
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington?
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilman Powers?
Yes.
Mayor Thomas?
Yes.
Councilwoman Power?
Yes.
10E, purchase of a new garbage truck. Staff report.
Yes, sir. The last council meeting, staff asked you to allow us $200,000 to go out and find a used garbage truck that we need. Since that time, staff has found a 2023 Freightliner 25-yard capacity rear loader, which is much like the larger trucks that the city now owns. The truck is brand new. The purchase price is $269,900. but we can trade 2 older trucks and reduce the purchase price by $38,000, leaving a balance due of $231,900, or $31,900 more than requested by staff at the March 4th meeting. This is a new, not used truck, and staff believes it to be the best fit for the city overall. Full warranty, the whole 9 yards. Staff plans to request 3 new trucks next year's budget, but expects time between order and delivery to be 12 to 18 months. Sanitation reserves are healthy and can still absorb the cost of the difference. So the recommended action tonight is a motion to augment the authorized amount for staff to acquire a garbage truck by $31,900 to a total of $231,900 plus trade-in value of the existing equipment.
Go to public hearing, council comments.
All I heard from the last meeting was, why are we buying a used garbage truck?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the biggest complaint that I had was, why are we buying a used garbage truck? Well, now I can tell them we're not.
We're not.
Well, and for only 31,000
Yeah.
more,
Right.
to get something brand new,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So,
It's not 4 years old.
Yes.
right.
I got a question. How are the blue and yellow garbage cans holding up?
Mine's holding up pretty good.
Well, can you give me?
So is mine.
Mine holding up pretty good too.
Mine's okay.
But not everybody treats theirs like I do, but,
Oh, I did see that video.
can you give me a figure on how many's been broke
I
or
haven't
turned
seen
in or?
any report on that.
I don't have a figure ready for you, but all those cans did come with a 10-year complete warranty
Oh, wow.
for basically defects and whatnot. A few cans have gotten run over and hit by cars, but I mean, significantly fewer than we were expecting. So we're doing good. Now, I will say the cost of the cans has almost doubled. So, you know, we might be coming back. We had in the fee resolution $50 for a new can. We might need to raise that, but that's still, you know, the cost of the new cans is about $60 now, so it's not too far out of line.
How are we doing with all the new building? Do we have enough cans for all the new buildings?
As of right now, yes, but the lead time on the cans is getting longer. So it's, hopefully that'll correct, but we are staying ahead of the curve.
Very good.
Now, while I got you, go ahead and stand up and be recognized as the new engineer and chief of public works.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And now, I read on Facebook that I could order me a blue and yellow garbage can to put my sticks in. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. You can have additional cans, yes.
Okay.
And if you want to use one just for yard waste and put it out every Wednesday, it'll get picked up every Wednesday,
So that
except for
was
holiday weeks.
a
But
true Facebook post.
Yeah.
yes,
Amazing.
And it's
Yeah,
no
let me write that
cost.
down, yeah.
No extra cost.
there is additional cost. I believe it's the cost to add the can is $50 to add it, and I believe it's an additional $5 a month for the additional can. So there is an additional cost, but it's not much.
But there's no extra cost if you use one of your old ones.
That's correct.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah,
just
I
keep
use my
doing that.
old one.
Yeah, so do we.
And Mr. Mayor, if it's okay with you, I'd also like to recognize the new Deputy Director of Environmental Services, Mr. Jeff Thurman.
Stand up, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Gotta do the garbage can.
All right. Well, let's do the truck first. Let's get the truck.
You want a motion?
Yes, please.
I make a motion to.
Public comment.
Public comment.
Public comments on the garbage truck.
I do.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to augment the authorized amount for staff to acquire a garbage truck by $31,900 to a total of $231,900 plus trade-in value of existing equipment.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilwoman Bennington,
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe,
Yes.
Councilman Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Power,
Yes.
10F, American Rescue Plan, ARPA, use of funds, staff report.
This one's kind of lengthy. The U.S. Treasury has given the city of Edgewater a total of $11,979,418 for use as a result of COVID-19. When funding was first announced, staff approached council about using all the money to reline aging sewer pipe. As time has advanced, Treasury rules have changed and been relaxed. Now the first $10 million of funding can be used to reimburse for prior expenses, governmental expenses. A huge qualifier of reimbursement is wages and benefits paid to or for employees, which would free up monies to be used for any governmental need. Right now, an ever-pressing need for Edgewater is a larger city hall. Staff now proposes $10 million of the total $11,979,418 be used toward construction of a new city hall. During calendar year 2021, a space needs analysis was conducted by a New Smyrna Beach architect. He estimates the city needs a minimum of 33,000 square feet for a new city hall, but staff believes a bigger estimate or a better estimate would be 40,000 square feet. It is highly doubtful $10 million is enough to construct a building of this size. The land recently built a new fire station for $5.6 million, and it is 16,000 square feet in size, which is $350 a square foot. It is believed construction costs should be estimated between $350 and $500 per square foot, and that may be not good now. An average of these costs would put the estimated cost of a 40,000 square foot building around $17 million. True costs would not be known until the project is designed, engineered, and bid. There are ways to reduce the initial estimates and actual cost. One way would be to reduce the initial footprint of the building to be added to later in such a way that you couldn't tell that it had been added to. There would be no need to keep the current city hall that we're in now, and it could be sold to reduce any associated debt of a new building. The federal government continues to say more relief funding is forthcoming for projects such as water and sewer infrastructure, so relining sewer pipe could happen at that time. So the recommended action tonight is to direct staff to formulate future steps to use the funds that were freed up by the ARPA funding standard allowance to construct a new city hall and keep the council informed along the way as to progress.
Open the public hearing, council discussion.
So, and I realize it's, would be off the top of your head, but the 33,000 square feet is our present need. That takes into account city clerk, storage, and who else would be going in there? Like what building could go away besides the present building?
Parks and Rec.
Park and Rec.
But that's where I'm thinking that the new city hall could go.
Mm-hmm.
What better place besides Dustin's can you go?
And then
Well, that's planning ahead.
We own the land, already.
Yeah, we do. And it's sitting on a nice hill there.
Yes.
Right.
Very impressive.
Yeah, it is kind of the center of town, I guess.
Yeah.
So Samantha would join us.
Right, and so that's something that, in theory, maybe it's small, but the savings of not having to run that building separately
Yes.
is,
Yeah.
Or purchase new land.
Or
Right.
we're gonna have to do
Or
something
purchase
for
land.
Bonnie, too.
or purchase land.
We're bringing her with us as well.
No, I mean, well, we would.
Let's leave you in
we
your
were
building.
We
on
were
doing
planning on doing something for the city clerk
Yeah.
land,
And she could
which
be
would have,
included in,
Right.
in this, with this.
which would be a good thing. And then, and the extra 7,000 square feet, and that's, you're talking about whatever gets built, looking at being able to modularly add some to it. So we,
Yes.
I know it sounds kind of funny, but it just seems like for 7,000 square feet, like what would the cost of that be to do it at the same time? Like going
Well,
forward?
that's what we're gonna be looking at.
Okay, yeah, I would like to definitely see sort of a breakdown, just knowing that, 5 years from now, the cost could be,
Absolutely.
3 times.
We've got to look at the pledging that we have available as well.
Right.
I don't want to use property tax.
Right.
So what other pledges do we have available?
Mhm.
And right now, I don't even know what that is. Another issue is the police department, and what do we do with that? It may be that we incorporate it into City Hall for a time. I don't know yet.
Mhm. We can give them this building.
The
Give
police
the
department?
library.
The library has also been discussed, but we have a lease with the county.
That would be a hard sell for me,
Yeah, I'm not.
because there are a lot of people that use that library.
There are.
There are a lot.
Just trying to be transparent. It
No,
has
thank
been
you.
discussed.
Right, right. No, I get it.
That's why I
So
said
there's
that.
a lot of discussion and design to be done in the future. So what are we voting on here to tell you that 10 million's okay to
Basically, for us to determine whether or not it's feasible.
put that
to
10
go
million
forward
away for the city hall?
I
For
do
the
just have a
time being.
I just have a question about so we're kind of shifting away from the relining of the sewer pipes and going this route. So I just wanted to ask about that then, what that project would look like,
Which one?
the sewer line project.
Well, it would still leave $1,979,418,
All right.
which is way less than what we need. But again, Congress is already trying to free up money, a lot more than this 12 million that supposedly can only be used for infrastructure, roads,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
streets, bridges.
I
Water,
guess
sewer.
moving, so that's obviously still a priority and, yeah.
Right. I know. I don't want
So
the,
we could talk about this all night. So let's,
Mhm.
I say we get on with it and,
Do we need a motion to let you?
yeah, but I gotta ask the public first.
Yeah, I know.
So. Council, have y'all stated what you want to say? Miss Megan, you want to say anything about the city hall money?
It sounds like a great idea, and I think we need to move forward with it.
Thank you. Any of y'all else?
I agree. I think we need to start
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
and
yeah.
move forward with it.
But, I mean, there's a lot of discussion.
Oh, I know. This is just the very, very tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Public,
Who knows?
public,
We might run into the Titanic here.
That's possible. They hit oil.
John Zeno, 718 Navigators. Could you please help me understand, maybe I missed it in the back, where would this be located, or haven't you determined that yet?
Well, it hasn't been determined, but one place that we, as staff, are looking at, it's up to them.
Sure.
But one of the properties that the city owns already is where the Parks and Recreation office is, just north of Dustin's.
Right.
Restaurant on that property.
The other issue I would like you to respond to is, I was of the impression, and I could be wrong, that this property cannot be sold, that it was dedicated to the city by its previous owner for city use only. Is that correct or incorrect?
incorrect. Well, you want to explain that, Mr. Attorney?
Yeah, it's been a while since I did this, but, yeah, there were initial deed restrictions. A lawsuit was filed to cancel those, which was successful. So there's no longer any deed restrictions on
Okay.
the use of City Hall.
So it can be sold privately to someone else. Okay, thank you.
which might like put furniture in the city hall.
I like to keep property values.
No, I know.
Denise Dale, Fernald Street. If you're going to spend money on a new building, you should go a little bigger. Do more than what you actually need, because we are growing. So,
Thank you.
That's it
That's a
on
good, that's a good point. Now, are we gonna look at 33?
No, it's 40.
40, we're gonna look at 40, okay.
May want more than that. I don't know yet.
Hi, Corey.
Hi, Corey Sapp, 2630 Travelers Palm. First thing I would like to say is you guys have done very well biting your tongue. I learned in kindergarten, when someone is speaking, shut up. It is horrible to sit here and try to listen to y'all when you got this going on, and I'm sorry, but it is rude, disrespectful, and needs to be halted when it's happening by you guys. City Hall, I think that's good location, but we just got Hawks Park going and things happening there. So to take that away, to put a city building, you're not gonna have any parking. It's a nightmare getting in and out of there.
We'll make it better.
But the lot is too small for the city to expand the way it is.
And that's possible. But that's
You
part of it.
need a much bigger parcel.
So I think the idea is too, you can go up there,
That's correct.
you know, and not eat the park.
But how high are you allowed to go there?
35 feet.
35
No,
feet.
no,
That
we're on,
is
we're on the
east
other
of
side
one.
of US one.
Yeah.
and
We
go
could, we could
high.
have it a 10-story building.
Oh, okay.
1 story
I
just
just
for the
think
mayor's office.
that we just got Hawks Park and got some things going. People knowing where Hawks Park is, going there, we've got the stage and all that. I think it would be a shame to have that in front of us and then take it away from us.
I would think there would be a goal to preserve that.
Yeah, well, that being
you-
said, it's kind of a pain for parking, whatever, even for that stage.
Absolutely.
So if that got moved over by the pickleball courts, if the stage
Further
or
out.
whatever, yeah, where there is maybe more parking.
Have you tried to go to a ball game out there lately?
No,
Go on a Friday night
yeah, it's not.
when there's soccer games.
Well, and part of this, you know, adding more parking, adding more infrastructure, looking at that intersection.
But you're
you know,
taking,
That's why
I just
say
think it's a
there's-
nice park with the wooded area, the trail, you know. I just think we just got a park on US 1 close to the Y. Find a property somewhere else to build the city hall. That's more centralized.
It may be years and years before we get this too.
This is true. But
Thank you.
Yeah, the other part of that is, again, we own the property, so
Right.
anything else, I mean, look at we were talking about the old
Region.
Coleman Farm,
Oh.
the property out there that the school
Mhm.
board owned,
Mhm.
and we looked at that, and that was like 3 million or whatever, just for that
You mean
property.
The horse farm?
The horse farm.
Yeah.
So, anything that we purchase would end up being an additional cost.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're just in the talking stages anyway.
Yeah.
That's
Design
what I
floor.
say.
Very early.
That's
Very-
why I say we got a lot of designing and talking to go on about this.
We'll still be talking about this next year
10
at
years
this time.
from now.
Right, this is just shifting.
Well, we should have discussion on it every meeting.
intending to shift.
The
Okay, so
titles
that's,
is long,
that actually is an important question, because there was a time limit to use the ARPA funds.
Still is.
So there's a timeline by the end of 2026
What is it,
or 7.
for 24?
So the timeline for use of the ARPA funds, they had to be at least obligated by 24, and then the final payments through 26.
Okay.
But by making the election to have that 10 million standard allowance, basically we were able to report already using payroll data.
Mm.
And so therefore it freed up $10 million to use for other items.
Okay.
Okay. So at our-
Now, the
at
time
our
restrictions still
leisure-
apply to the 1.9.
Right. So that still has to get used. And it's obligated for Randy. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Close the public hearing, entertain a motion.
Oh, you got one more.
Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you'd already talked. You only talk once.
I didn't use 3 minutes.
You didn't get 3 minutes?
No.
I'm sorry. You sat down.
If you,
He did.
yeah, you can.
Yeah, John Zeno. Just a question.
You can
Um,
come up at the next 3 minutes, which is not gonna be too far.
Right.
But I'm not gonna allow you to talk now.
Okay.
Just sit
Even if
right
it's
in
on
front.
this issue.
Sit right in front. Doesn't matter.
Entertain a motion.
Well, I'll make a motion to allow the city manager to go into talks on plans for the new city hall.
Well, I think he wants
how do you need- Just
looking for
a motion to, allocate that, 10 million to specific,
To formulate future steps to use the funds that were freed up by the ARPA funding standard allowance to construct a new city hall and keep the council informed along the way as to progress.
That's it. That's the motion.
Okay,
Second.
roll call?
Councilwoman Bennington,
Yes.
Councilwoman O'Keefe,
Yes.
Councilman Powers,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas,
Yes.
Councilwoman Power.
Yes.
Item number 11, officers for city clerk.
We're trying to schedule a second workshop regarding the proposed fire assessment. We're looking at either May 16th or the 23rd. Those are both Mondays at 6 p.m. Just need to know if that works for everybody, or which day is better so we can get that scheduled.
Mine's either. I don't.
It don't matter.
Either one.
Yeah, the 16th is a little bit harder for me, but whatever.
So we could do the 23rd then.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
23rd.
Okay. And just to let you all know, we're gonna hold a special CRA meeting on June 6th prior to the regular council meeting as normal. Just an additional meeting that we have to have coming up. And the Volusia League of Cities dinner on May 26th. I believe that's the annual awards banquet. It's gonna be held in Deltona. I do just need to know who will be attending and how many by next Monday, please. And that's all I have.
City attorney?
Yes, just real quick on the Ingalls litigation. We had a hearing scheduled on April 20th on our motion to dismiss the amended complaint. But as I mentioned, we agreed to be flexible in setting that because of Mr. Ingalls' health issues. And so we reached out to him to see if he was ready to go forward. And he was actually in the hospital getting treatment. So he asked us to reschedule it, which we've done it's now reset for June 21st. Let's see how he's doing at that point. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Mr. City Manager?
Well, I had two things, but Bonnie took one of them, so I only have one left now, which is fine. Short-term rentals, I know has been before you all before my time. And there was no real appetite for doing much of anything at all with it at that time. However, short-term rentals have again raised their head, and people are genuinely looking at Edgewater if they haven't already found it. I am needing to know whether or not you want us to do anything with it or just let it ride. We are getting complaints out of the shores that short-term rentals are here. The police department is doing the best they can with it, but there's only so much they can do.
So
There are regulations that we can put in place. I need to know whether or not you want to pursue that.
I don't think Florida Shores would be an appropriate area for that, for short-term rentals. So like the city of New Smyrna Beach they have an overlay. They have like a district, right? And like if you're east of A1A on the beach or around Flagler, so those are appropriate vacation areas, not, being on vacation.
Yeah, I don't know why would you go vacation in the
Florida Shores.
on Sable Palm?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I can see being there for whatever, but for a weekend,
Yeah.
seems like an odd.
Yeah. But are there increasing complaints then with some of those things? Yeah.
So my question would be, with the Florida statutes, what is I thought you had to be grandfathered with ordinances or whatever, that you could not.
So go backward.
Yeah,
in
you could
arrears.
not be more stringent than the Florida statutes
That's true too.
on it. So I'm not sure that, I don't know what is open to us, other than
Could we create
noise.
our own district though, kind of where we allow it?
Well,
I
I just
don't
want,
know.
really tonight, what I wanted was feedback as to whether or not you want to pursue anything. This is going to take a concerted effort between Darren, myself, and the attorney to try to pull something together, or we will step on ourselves and we will get sued and we will lose.
Right.
So if there's no interest in it, I don't know exactly what happened the last time, other than the fact that y'all didn't want registrations of short-term rentals.
Well, there's a difference between, it wasn't short short-term rental specifically. It was rental properties that we were looking at. It was straight up rental properties.
Okay.
And we were looking for a database on that. And then there were inspections and there's this whole project that basically was not well received by the time we got to the second reading. It was not well received, but that was not on short-term rentals
Okay.
specifically at all. It was basically rental properties. So,
I just don't know where you would put them.
right.
That's when we have to have this
Yeah.
effort between the three of us to determine where it would fit. You can't out-zone it. If it's allowed, you have to find something zoning to put it in.
Mhm.
But it doesn't have to be necessarily what people aspire to.
Right.
No, I won't say that.
It don't make no difference to me. You do what you want.
I mean,
No, you can
I wouldn't mind maybe a little bit of research into what we're allowed to do without delving into, you know, what exactly we want to do. If that makes sense.
Yeah, just have the conversation.
How feasible it would be for
Right.
us.
Right.
Okay.
So not, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Educate ourselves.
Right.
Bring you something back at the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's it.
Citizens' comments.
You're on.
Thank you. John Zeno, 718 Navigators. To return to the issue of this potential city hall, I would encourage the council to include the police department in that setting to consolidate services and probably save money if you have room to do it. The other issue is whether or not we've explored whether or not the county has any vacant property that is potentially usable for City Hall that can be turned back to the city from,
Like the other piece of property.
right. Now, they may not have a piece, or they may, that's undeveloped, that is developable for our purposes, and we would then not have to introduce more buildings in a congested area here and lose some other service. So I don't know whether that's been explored, but it's certainly worth looking at. But I would encourage you to try to include as many services in that new facility as you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Denise Dale, 908 Fernald. I agree with what he said, and I also agree with the previous lady, and don't take any more of our parks away. That's it.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Cindy Black, Umbrella Tree. The fire assessment workshops, are you gonna let the public speak? I know you generally don't at workshops.
Usually don't. We usually don't take public comments. at the
I
workshop.
know
That's
I
correct.
was watching at home and you were talking about the public showing up at the workshop, so what's the point of?
Well, to be informed,
I mean,
and go ahead.
because I mean, I watch them at home since, you know, we can't say anything. There's no sense showing up if I can't say anything.
But at least you're informed by watching.
Right,
You know what we're
right.
talking about.
So, and I think that's the reason why people try to start conversations, you know, elsewhere that you may not like, but if we can't say anything, you know, where do we start the conversation if, you know, we're left voiceless, except for the 3 minutes at these meetings, you know, it's like you talk about commercial buildings, but, you know, you can't compare one to the other because some of these buildings deal in hazardous materials and should be taxed more than the other. I mean, there's a lot of things that you're not looking at that some of us have more knowledge on than, you know, you may not even be thinking about. So anyway, that's my opinion.
Thank you.
I would say that even if it was a workshop, it would still be the 3 minutes.
Well, the thing, can I say something?
Sure, sure.
Okay. Workshops are not necessarily for the public. They have to be allowed in by state statute, okay? public hearings are for the public to be heard by state statute. So if you come and gather the information at a workshop, then you can always come back to a public hearing and be heard. It's not a time for the public to be heard. It's a time for staff to sit down with the council, possibly the attorney, but he's part of staff, and explain the facts and figures, just between us. That's
And
it.
that's why we have the workshops, is
Right.
because so, we can work, without,
We can
what
work in the
drags on the
sunshine.
meeting usually is the public comment, and then that goes into depth, so.
So not a bad thing if somebody watches the meeting and then, or the workshop, excuse me, and then has questions or whatever,
They can come to a formal meeting.
and or
And
send
ask-
them on, send them to the city clerk or whatever. I mean, so that we know the question before the meeting.
But usually I will not take comments at a workshop.
Yeah, the workshop is so that we can converse in the public without the sunshine. So it's open to anybody that wants to listen to us, and we can talk to
In the
each other.
sunshine.
That's what I said, in the sunshine.
In the sunshine.
In the sunshine.
A question about that workshop. So the numbers and the figures that we're gonna be looking, I'm assuming the consultant will be back for that
Yes.
workshop? Okay. So part of that is looking at how we handle the millage rate with the assessment, right?
Yes.
Some of that will be calculated then for us and
Yes.
exemptions and those sort of things.
Well, it actually already is, in that presentation they gave, it's in there.
Right, okay, but, okay,
We'll talk more about it.
yeah, okay, I just wanna make sure it'll be prepared, so, yeah.
With that, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
So be it.